does she then behaviorally look more like a male when she grows up?
If given exogenous hormones, you can look at her mounting behavior, and you can you can sort of manipulate hormones in adulthood to look at reproductive behavior separately from the organizational effects of those hormones. And so, yeah, so there have been some studies looking at that. So I think for me, the way that I interpret that data is that when mom is displaying differences in caregiving behavior, they are functionally meaningful.
Right.
They do seem to have an impact on development that is sort of relevant for that particular species.
Yeah, yeah. And so, we talked a little bit earlier about all of the sensory modalities that are involved in the mother pup communication streams that are relevant here. She can obviously smell the pups, and smell and odor are very important for rodents. She can see them, she's picking them up, she's touching them, she's, feeling them lactate, all of these things. And then they can do these ultrasonic vocalizations. I want to talk a little bit more about those. Like, so with what you just said, the mothers will tend to naturally, spontaneously lick the males more than the females. How do they know who's who?
The urine, so the pheromonal differences between the males and females.
Got
Yeah.
it. So they can just smell it, and they can clearly tell. Wow. So
Yes.
there's these natural differences in the mother's behavior based on the sex of the pup, and those things just seem to be coupled. If you actually mess with them experimentally, you can make a female look a little bit more male-like in terms of her future behavior.
Yes. Yes. Her future sexual behavior, I should be clear. Yes.
Future
Yeah.
sexual behavior.
Yeah.
Interesting. So one of the big things that impacts pup development, obviously, is what they get from the mom, literally in the form of milk, the calories, the nutrients, and other things that are going to be in that milk. There's lots of stuff we could talk about here, from antibodies and immune system stuff to pathogen related stuff to pharmaceutical drugs that might be in the mom because an experimenter put them there or they're in the environment. And one of the papers that you guys recently did kind of gets in this direction. Before we get to that, is there anything in terms of background we should talk about in terms of lactation and milk that will set this up?
I think I mean, we could talk about, I guess, just sort of from a really general perspective. I think we don't have a lot of information about how drugs that mom is taking transfer through the milk
Hmm.
and how they might affect offspring. To me, this is a really huge sort of gap in our understanding. And, the standard ways that we tend to look at this is, looking at what mom's dose is and then collecting milk from mom. And this is in human data, collecting milk from mom and then asking whether or not the drug has transferred through the milk. There are all kinds of different things that can impact drug transfer, that have to do with, the lipophilicity of the drug and the pH. And I mean, there and individual variation in mom's production. I mean, there's many, many, many things that can go into this. But essentially, we tend to look at mom's dose. We tend to look at the amount that we find in the milk. We look at the amount of milk that's consumed by the infant, and then we can calculate the relative infant dose. And that is, as far as I can tell, I should I should give the disclaimer that I don't do any research at all with humans.